Hi everyone, I've come down here to the Mangshi River basin. This is outside of the Mangshi Valley. The Mangshi River sort of flows from up there all the way down into Mangshi. I was going to go further up that way to show you where the river actually comes from, but all the villages along here are closed off at the moment. They're not letting me in because I'm from Mangshi. These guys here, they're not letting me into the village, further up into the village, because, well, you know, there's been a bit of a mini COVID outbreak in Roili on the border with Myanmar. There's been like 3 new cases or something this week, so all the villages are closing up for the moment so as to not become infected. So there's not really too much I can do about that, so I'm just going to have to go further down back the way I came to show you the path that the Mangshi River takes into Mangshi, because it is one of the major sources of water for the Mangshi Valley and Mangshi City and the villages and towns in the Mangshi Valley. Okay, let's move on. Hi again everyone. So see down there, that is the Mangshi River flowing from its source up in the hills up there, and then it flows this way. Here, we'll cross the bridge here. All the way down there back into the Mangshi Valley. Along the way, it's the main source of water for all the farming and agriculture that takes up most of the space in the Mangshi Valley. Actually, the city still isn't... It's bigger than it was 5 or 10 years ago, but most of Mangshi Valley is still agriculture and even subtropical rainforest. That building down there is the Dehong Teachers College. Previously, the Teachers College was in the centre of the city, but in the middle of 2016, they moved up here to the mountainside, about half an hour, 40 minutes outside of Mangshi. So yeah, there's a lot of rainfall here for much of the year, but not all year. And so the river is still very important for the agriculture that's, you know, the backbone of life here in Dehong, particularly for paddy farming of rice, which is one of the major forms of agriculture that people make a living from here. So let's move further back down into the valley, and I can show you some of the agriculture that the Mangshi River feeds. Okay, let's move on. Hi everyone. So here we are at the Mangshi River again. I've driven for about half an hour from up there back into the Mangshi Valley, and down here now we are well in the Mangshi Valley, in the middle of the farming towns and villages that the Mangshi River basically sustains. You can see some of that action up here. You can see some of the new construction up there. A few years into the future, Mangshi is going to be a stop for the high-speed rail. The high-speed rail will go all the way through Mangshi into Roili, and that will mean that the high-speed rail basically goes everywhere in China, even places like here that are relatively small. So let's cross the river, the bridge, and we can take a look a bit further down into the valley. This bridge here, local villagers come to sell their produce, their grapes, grapefruit, pomegranates, apples, things like that. The water is quite silty at the moment. That's because it's been raining for the last couple days, and a whole bunch of clay and sand and stuff gets washed down from the hills into the river. So it goes like this dirty tea colour when it's been raining, which is quite often, I must say. Mangshi River is important here, not just for agriculture, but also for livestock raising. Water buffalo are very important here, both for farm labour, but also for, well, livestock, basically milk, meat, leather, all that kind of thing. And you can see the river keeps flowing down, down, down into the valley. So let's move on. Hi everyone. So here I am further down into the Mangshi Valley again. So yeah, as you can see, the river flows further up, further up, further up, away from the mountains down that way, further down into the valley, and as it goes it waters much of the agriculture that happens here and keeps the water buffalo happy. That's also important. So I'd like to show you a bit of the agriculture that I was talking about. So the river's just there. We go across this path, and here is a new field of seedling rice. They've just done the summer crop. Now they're doing the autumn crop, so that's why this is so small here, because it's just been planted like a few weeks ago. The drying, the harvesting and the drying and the threshing of the summer crop has all been done now, and now the autumn crop has been planted. They get the seedlings and basically just go along in rows, as you can see here, and then at the end of autumn they will harvest the autumn crop. So it's not just rice though. There's also lots of fruits, agriculture, nuts, lots and lots of vegetables obviously. And then you can see the city over there is gradually increasing in size and getting ever closer to the river here. And then the mountains and hills in the background there. But the thing of it is, I'm not sure where the expansion of the city is actually going to stop. It has to stop sooner or later, because the economic plan for Dehong is still largely agricultural, and particularly green agriculture. So if the whole valley just fills up with built up area, then where's the agriculture going to happen? Are they going to move it to the other side of the mountains? I tend to doubt that, because that would be hugely inconvenient. It would mean that people who live anywhere in the Mangshi Valley would have to travel for an hour or more just to go out to the fields in the morning, and then another hour back in the evening. So yeah, I'm not actually sure where the expansion of Mangshi City is going to stop, but sooner or later it has to stop. Otherwise, agriculture, which is the main industry and the main foundation of the economic development here, will just become too inconvenient. Anyway, let's move on. Hi everyone, I'm still in the Mangshi Valley here. I just thought we'd come up a bit from the river and take a look at some of the agriculture that the river basically sustains. Okay, let's go. Need to be careful, the road's a little bit wet and I'm driving with one hand. So more new rice here. See some banana trees there, getting into the background. Oh God, excuse me. So right now it's mostly rice. There's enough rain to keep the rice crops growing. At different times of the year there might be more wheat or sugarcane or other crops. As you can imagine, different crops are planted at different times of the year. So you can see, even though there's lots of new buildings here in the villages and towns, and even though the standard of living has improved a lot over the last, 5-10 years, it's still not an easy life for a farmer in the countryside. You still have to work hard. You still need to put up with worse infrastructure than the city. And yeah, overall, it's no cakewalk by any stretch of the imagination, even though the standard of living has improved a lot, and a lot of that is down to deliberate government policy in order to improve the standard of living out in the villages and towns. Yeah, one thing you can see is that there's always so much new building, new construction. The old houses are coming down as they become unsafe or whatever, and are being replaced with new ones. Here is the village drunk fund. So someone's got a stand set up selling some Myanmar products, it looks like. And yeah, all of these people, their livelihood, their homes, everything really is sustained by the Mangshi River. It's very important. It's essential for the people who live in this part of China. And yeah, without the Mangshi River, none of this would be possible. Okay, that might be enough for the moment. So I hope you've enjoyed this video.